Have you ever felt like your only options were church or no God at all? Like, if church wasn't right for you, maybe you couldn't be spiritual in any way. I mean, that's kind of what they teach us, right? You either believe all of it or you believe none of it. For years, that's how I was, but I kept feeling that pull. But I realized that there was a third option and it completely changed my life. I grew up believing that church and organized religion were absolutely necessary to have a relationship with God. Either you believed in all of it and you went to church regularly, or you weren't a real Christian. It was all so black and white. But I had a lot of questions, about the Bible, especially, and some of the things that it said. I didn't always enjoy church. I felt like a lot of the people there weren't in alignment with me and what I believed. I assumed for a long time that I guess I just couldn't have a spiritual life. Maybe you felt that way too. Maybe you felt like you didn't know where you belonged. Maybe you wanted a relationship with God, but you didn't want to go back to church and you didn't know how to make those two things fit together. Maybe you thought, if I don't believe it all, maybe I'm doing spirituality wrong. If you've been spiritually stuck and you think that resentment or anger might be the culprit, check out my free forgiveness worksheet in the description below. There's a link there. It's a 14-day forgive and receive challenge. Check it out. You're going to love it. In 2016, I hit a really low point in my life and I knew I needed help. And I didn't care where it came from, if it came from therapy or if it came from God or if it came from books that I read. I just knew that I couldn't keep living the way I'd been living and I needed help to change. There was just this part of me that didn't want to be that person that hit this really low point and showed up in church like it was going to cure everything. I actually found the 12-step group that helped me so much. And love it or hate it, 12-step taught me one thing that's for sure, that I could define my own spirituality. I could hear different ideas, hear different thoughts, and I could take what I like and leave the rest, right? That's what they say. I could practice spiritual ideas and not have to completely accept everything that someone told me just because they were in a position of authority, right? I could practice forgiveness, accountability, service. I could use these spiritual foundations and ideas, the ones that fit me the best, and develop my own connection with God. I didn't have to follow someone else's rules. I could find or build a community of like-minded people who thought and felt the same way, right? I didn't have to go to church and pretend to believe things that I didn't believe. And I didn't have to not have God in my life at all. There was a third option. I could build a spiritual practice that fit me and what I believed. Today, spirituality for me looks like having a daily prayer practice. It means letting God direct my life and my actions. It means connecting with other spiritually minded people on a regular basis. I read, I write, I watch things on the YouTube. I am able to take it all in and decide what fits for me best, right? And because I've built a spiritual practice or a spiritual routine that actually fits me, my life, and my beliefs, I've never been happier. I have beautiful relationships with my kids, my boyfriend, my friends, my clients, and I enjoy my work, right? I have a healthy, strong body, and I found financial peace that I never thought that I could have, right? And here's the deal. Whenever life gets hard, and it still does, because I have this spiritual practice, I have this resilience that I never thought would be possible. If you haven't watched my video about me breaking both of my arms, please watch it next. It's the best example, the biggest example I have of how my spiritual routine has built resilience. And whenever things got hard, so hard, I kept going. I kept making money. I kept having great relationships. I was able to function and be grateful for all the things I had, even though I was hurt so badly and so dependent and able to keep going, right? And very grateful for my life, even in that hard time. Looking back, it is one of the biggest, clearest examples of how my spiritual routine and my spiritual practice carried me through one of the hardest seasons of my life. I was so dependent on other people. I couldn't work. I was in a lot of pain, but I was still very grateful, and everything seemed to work out just the way it was supposed to. So if you've been wanting to connect to God and you've been wanting a spiritual path, but organized religion or church just doesn't feel right for you, I hope that this video will give you permission to find a path that does feel right for you. And if you want to start, grab that forgiveness worksheet in the description below. It'll help you start working on letting go, praying, and letting go of the people or situations that keep you angry or stuck. This is all part of my spiritual finance routine. And if you're interested, be sure to subscribe. I create content like this on a weekly basis to help guide you on a spiritual path that works for you. Thank you so much for watching.